Hello, and welcome to the Metaphysical Society for Conscious Living podcast. My name is Lorraine Jensen, and I am your host. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mahadevi Elise. Welcome.
Hi, Lorraine. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. So, Mahadevi Elise will be speaking at the Unitarian Fellowship Hall at 595 Townsite Road on September the 19th at 7 p.m. We do ask that you bring a $15 cash donation. Let me tell you a little bit about us, a little bit about Mahadevi Elise, and then we'll get started. So the Metaphysical Society for Conscious Living helps people seeking community, connection, and spiritual development, and to feel inspired and empowered by providing enlightening experiences through seminars, workshops, podcasts, fairs, and conferences. Now, let's talk a little bit about Mahadevi Elise. She says, traveling through the quantum field to our soul and experiencing more of God consciousness, we find that we are so much more than we realized. To understand what it means to be more fully human, by exploring this, we can see that fusing ourselves with technology is an inferior option. It's a really powerful statement. I like that. During the evening of September 19th, she will be taking participants on journeys either into their past lives or into their future lives, and the group at the time can decide which one they want to go on. Mahadevi Elise started studying Hindu philosophy and yoga in 1973, and when she was asked what she wants people to know, her answer was what it means to connect with God consciousness and to see the potential in going into the quantum field, to find out who we are. What an amazing journey that will be or has been for you.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit. So for those people that are new to the metaphysical world, what exactly is the quantum field and where do we find it?
Well, how do you describe it? How do you put it in little words? The quantum field, it's actually going into the allness of God. It encompasses all of that which goes beyond our normal perceptions of time and space. Quantum is, the definition in science is physics is that it's unpredictable, and only because of, the reason for that is because in our 3D reality, which is limited, we don't perceive all of the larger expansive reality that's there, and to be tapped into, and to be a part of, to know that we are a part of that, and to be open to it, and to learn to work more with it,
So how do you get there? Like, how do you tap in? Do you just...
Well, it's through deep, genuine meditation, which opens up they call it the seventh chakra. And that when that happens, the pineal gland opens, and we are therefore able to take in that expanded reality. And but then and what it requires is that we relax the mind, so that, because our mind is very limited. I remember one time I went into the forest, and I felt like I was communing with trees, and then my physical mind said, "Oh, that's crazy. It's ridiculous. That's not happening." And then I said, "Well, let's just be crazy. Let's just see where it takes us." So you have to just relax the mind, and really, when you relax the mind, you're not becoming vulnerable to deceit or all that kind of other stuff. You actually entering into your higher mind, which is much more expansive. It takes in more, and it has more knowingness and understanding, and it's just the superior state of being that we've been veiled from. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but
No, it's wonderful. So when did you first experience the quantum field?
Oh gosh. I mean, we experience it here and there. Um,
Yes, I agree. I believe we do.
yeah, from the very beginning, but we don't know what it is. And when we don't know, then we don't try to tap into it. And then when we tap into it, then we can expand on it and then we can work with it. So um yeah, it's something that's there. We just need someone in the beginning to guide us into that state where then we can go, aha, where the spiritual philosophy comes to us, and then when that happens, we go, oh, okay. That's when we understand philosophies, all these things that the ancient gurus, the scriptures have been trying to tell us. We get it more deeply because it's a direct experience, because our experience in life is very fractal, and so if we take something out of context, like some kind of a spiritual mem, and we try and fit our experience into that little box, then we're not going to get the full understanding of it.
Right.
But when we go into the quantum field, this stuff comes to us and it's like, okay, I understand it now much better. And then from there, you start going, aha, and it just rolls on from there.
So is that then where we get this, what do you talk about? Finding more about who we are?
Yes, I'd love to talk to you about that. See, I mean, there's these things, what you could call, like think of it as like a circle of light. Well, we each have an individual soul, like a uh, in a way, kind of like you could maybe call it a container of experience, of all the experience that we have had as this individual uh, speck of the light of God consciousness. And our past, our future, all the different possible nows, parallel lives. And um um
Have you experienced, so you've experienced all of this that you're talking about?
I've experienced some of it, but my with myself, but with my clients, that's why I can say, yes, this is real, because I've learned so much from my clients. I've taken a lot of people into the quantum field, into their souls, and um it's extraordinary. It's real. And I could be talking with somebody who is with, say, their mother, who's brushing their hair from thousands of years ago, and I can ask her a question and she may not know the answer, so I can say, well, ask your mom, you know and so then she can
Wow.
relate. Yeah, she can relate something from thousands of years ago to 2024. So time is happening all this at the same
Yes,
time.
yes,
And
I
what
believe that.
Yeah, and what happens is when we go into our soul and into all these experiences, we realize our connectiveness to everyone. Not only do we see who we are in a more expansive way, like that we were both genders, that we were all races. So there's no, like we can't feel awkward with other people because we can, relate to
We
everybody.
are them.
I know, exactly. And and then we can find out that we had different personalities, that, maybe we think of ourselves as a real, kind of female like this. And then we find out in the past we were, like a shop teacher, who, no nonsense kind of thing. And we can bring back skills. We can bring back knowings and like learned understandings from the past, and so that we're working with a much more larger complexity of things. And then with that, and then when we establish that connection to higher consciousness by going into a deep true state of meditation enough, then we can be with it all the time. And therefore we are our potential as human beings, it just makes us so much, it makes it easier for us to navigate in the world makes us much greater than we realize. There's so much to it. And, like, then we start tapping into, like, for example, I just had an upgrade with my voice, my singing voice. I must have been a singer in a past life. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I just, and I never thought that I could be like that. But when you're tapped into higher consciousness, then you become aware of the things that hold us back from being our greater self. It's like, it's just such an expansive kind of rollout of understanding about life. And I'm not saying that I'm a fully realized being whatsoever, because life gets in the way of that. But I have had this tremendous experience as a guide to journeyers into this vastness of expansive God consciousness. And it's given me enough, and I have that ability to do that because I'm a very sensitive, I'm an artistic soul, and I'm intuitive. So, especially with the private sessions, I really zero in on them. And I actually got to a point at one time where I was actually seeing what they were seeing, say hundreds of years ago, before they even started talking about it. And then they'd explain what I was just seeing. So, which is what psychic mediums do. But
Have you always known that? Have you always seen, okay, so let me re-ask the question. What exactly do you do with somebody? So if I'm your client and I come to see you, what are you going to do?
Oh, well, first of all, what I do is I bring a person into a really deep state of meditation. And I have to admit, I'm really good at it because I I do it in every time I bring someone into a state of meditation, I do it differently. I just go with what comes to me. I mean, words will come to me, and whatever, and the words will come out, and stream out and whatever, and I just get, you know, inspiring different words. I had a friend, she called me from northeastern China, and she had been teaching me Chinese. So when I brought her into the quantum field, I started, how they have the way they talk is like with African frequencies, like, well, I can't do it now, but at that time, I tapped into that way of speaking for her. And I just happened to bring her past the seventh chakra, or to the past the eighth chakra, and up to the very highest ones. And she had like, well, I mean, most people's experiences are extraordinary. And it blows people away. It makes them realize like so much.
Yeah.
And
And there's so much more than what we see and feel and experience. And I think there's so many people saying, I don't know that I want to see anymore. Like
oh, yes.
living as they're living today.
Oh, they don't want to see anything more than what's happening today?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like, okay, this is enough. I've already got enough on my plate. I don't know that there's any more.
no, they don't understand. They don't
I
understand.
know, I know.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here to enlighten people. I got to tell you, I love your authenticity
Oh, thank you.
and your passion about what it is that you do. So I can, just imagine how much you actually bring to your clients, which I think is lovely. So I have another question. You said that the night of the 19th, you are going to invite the participants to decide,
Oh, yeah.
like, amongst themselves.
Mhm.
If so, are you going to, like, say, take a vote on if you're going into the future or the past?
Yeah.
So then you're going to do either or. So in your experience, when you ask people, do you want to go to a past life or a future life? What is the typical answer?
I'm finding that more people are interested in going into the future than the past now.
Good.
Yeah, and thank goodness, yes, because I think that, see, I believe, I really truly strongly believe, because of all my experiences with my journeys, and I don't know, everything in my life, um, that we are in the precipice of entering a whole new way of life. The old is disappearing.
Yes.
What Jesus told us about, what all the different religions told us about, and spiritual philosophy, it's actually happening now. I really believe that. And my journeyers have they have actually verified that.
Wow.
Yeah, like I my the one from China, she goes, "Oh my goodness." She says, "My I have light emanating from my body." Oh my goodness, but everybody else, it's the same with everyone else. And there's a feeling of peace and love in the air. And I said, "Oh, and are there a lot of people who are musicians?" She goes, "Funny that you would say that. But yes, and in fact, the harps are what a lot of people play because it has a certain frequency that helps in healing." And, I mean, I've heard all kinds of things that are just amazing about the future. And I mean, we certainly are coming to a point where we can't go on. And I mean, if we get hooked up by machines, and sold this, that, oh, this is so superior, we're going to be able to download, all these, 8 different languages of your choosing, and be able to speak them perfectly, just like that, and da 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 da. And oh, we're going to need to be hooked up to machines to be able to survive what's coming, like, no way, I don't want to go to where that old world is going, and besides, we're perfect as we are. We don't need to change. We've been veiled from our amazingness. We've been veiled from it in so many ways. And so those veils are coming off. And that's one of the reasons I do my work, is to unveil it so people can go, aha, aha, okay. Well, that's enough information for me to get going in the right direction.
Yes. And, the world needs that right now. And, I've lived in Nanaimo for 35 years now. And when I got here, I realized that there are so many different communities, spiritual communities around. And I thought to myself, well, if we could all come together and stand in a circle and set the intention for a greater place, or just hold space together,
Yeah.
what a wonderful world we would live in. And we
Yeah.
do live in a wonderful world. And I think, I'm hearing more and more that there are more and more light workers showing up right now
There
and
are.
stepping into the greatness of the world. And we need that. I believe that we need that in the world today.
We do. When I first started talking about all this stuff, when like, I mean, it started off where I didn't have words to put to what was happening with me when I would dance or when I would do my yoga. But then I would, around 2000, I started, well, actually, even before that, I was talking about, I guess, in the mid 90s, but it grew more and more, and I didn't know anybody, absolutely nobody, who was talking about the stuff
Wow.
I talk about, but now I'm seeing that. I'm thinking, oh, thank God, we
Yeah.
need as many people as possible to be doing this stuff.
Yeah, we do. And so I thank you so much for being here today and sharing a little bit about who you are and what you're bringing to the world and beyond and
Yeah.
beyond. Love it.
Thank
Love
you.
it. I love it. That's awesome.
Thanks.
So that brings our time to an end. It's been an absolute pleasure
Thank you so
spending
much.
this time with you and being in the presence of you living in your greatness. That's what I would express this experience of being. So thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
And so please, everybody, come on out and enjoy that evening, because it's going to be a hands-on experience when you go into a past life or into a future life. And I've done them, and it's absolutely mind-blowing
Yeah.
of the places that I've been. And I've learned so much about myself as a result of doing that. So I'm really excited for everyone to be there that evening. And if you are looking for more information about Mahadevi Elise and what she does, you can go to her website at templegoddessjourneys.com. And if you want to reach out to her directly, go to templegoddessjourneys@email.com.
Gmail.
So once again, Mahadevi Elise, thank you so much. And unfortunately, I won't be there on the 19th, but I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. Thank you very, very much for this.
Thank you.
You.